Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Greater Naples. It's so great to see so many wonderful people sitting here. For those of you out on the pavilion, great to see you. Those of you online, welcome. My name is Tony Fisher. I serve this congregation as its minister, and I'm very excited this morning. There's a lot going on, a lot of exciting things happening today. I'm grateful for all your presence, for the staff and the volunteers who help make this morning happen every Sunday morning. Grateful to our ushers and our AV tech and all the hospitality crew. We're excited to have back this morning Scott Ritter and Karen Batten. Scott's a longtime member, brought up his kids in this congregation, and they're here to help us through this service with their music. So we're grateful for that, and joining Sean and Abby Allison. So lots of stuff going on. I'm especially excited that Joanne Husky is our worship associate this morning. So Joanne, good morning.
Well, thank you, Tony. It is great to see so many of you this morning on this beautiful day. I know we have some new people, and we hope that you will make yourself known today and get to know some of us and find ways to connect. You are all welcome. You all on Facebook Live, you all out on the patio, and everyone here in this room. I want you to know that you are always welcome here. Ours is a welcoming community that freely seeks spiritual and intellectual growth, and we strive to create a wider community of peace, justice, and love. We do that by learning and growing together here and by holding our values and acting on them out in the world. If you're new, we especially want to meet you afterwards. We have coffee on the patio, and you're all welcome afterwards. So please stay and enjoy that. Today's service is about embracing change. We have all experienced a lot of change in the last few years with COVID and the hurricane and all the political turmoil. But there is always new life and new hope and new ideas that bring more hope. So hopefully this service will offer you this today. So let's take a deep breath and settle ourselves in to a time of worship with the morning prelude.
When I was a boy each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest, we would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread, everyone would kneel and bow, the only difference is, everything is holy now, everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad, miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but it even better measures truth. 'Cause anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't. Holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath, like I'm swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. child's face. Say it's not a testament, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come. Say it's not a sacrament, tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. Made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. Used to be a world half there, having second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy
Welcome home. This is the home that love made. It's full of the love that the founders felt when they planned out these walls and raised this roof above our heads. It's full of the love who have worshiped here, those who have celebrated and grieved, babies dedicated, couples married, family members mourned. It's full of the love of our children as they learn and laugh together, and our youth as they change and grow into their sense of purpose and meaning. This is the home that love made, full of the love of the staff who have served it, full of their hopes for this congregation and their hard work and their acts of dedication. This is the home that love made. It's full of our love, the love that binds us together in community. It is our love that makes this place holy. Let's join together in the chalice lighting words you'll see on your screen or on your order of service. May this flame stir our hearts and remind us of our mission to be truly welcoming, to grow in mind and spirit, and to widen the circle of peace, justice, and love. And let's rise as you're willing or able and join in singing our opening hymn, number 1000, in the Teal hymnal, Morning Has Come. The words will be on your screen.
A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home.
be seated. I'm very excited. This morning we share in a ceremony that is both ancient and timeless. Welcoming children into the larger community of fellowship and faith is an important and meaningful part of almost every tradition. In doing so, we recognize that each child is a special gift to us, an individual person in their own right. I would welcome up to the dais the Frediani family. Come and join us. Are you ready? You all set? To see the light that shines in the eyes of a child, the parents and grandparents, and the eyes of a congregation. It stirs within us the wonder and awe and the ongoing promise of the creative power of life. It reminds us of the human need and responsibility for family, for community, all that is important in our lives. In this moment, we honor the ancestors who, through their trials and tribulations, have not only made this event possible, but have added to the richness by passing along familial love and values from generation to generation. In the words of the poet and songwriter Ysaye Barnwell, we are our grandmother's prayers, we are our grandfather's dreamings, we are the breath of our ancestors, we are the spirit of love. So let's begin. Lagaya and Stephen Frediani, you have brought these children before us to be recognized, named, and dedicated into this loving community. By what names are these children known?
Harold James Frediani and Robert Stephen Frediani.
Harold James Frediani and Robert Stephen Frediani. Welcome. Harold, your given name comes from an ancient Greek Germanic name which speaks of strength and leadership. The name has been used by many kings and leaders. And Robert also is an ancient Germanic name with two parts. Hrud, meaning fame, glory, honor, praise, renown. Wow. And Bert, meaning bright light shining. Each of these children have names with lots of room to grow into. Lagaya and Stephen, in bringing these children to be dedicated and blessed, you are affirming your desire that this congregation acknowledge your commitment to their spiritual growth and ask our help in sharing with them over time the wonder, the joy, the sorrow, and the responsibilities that we all understand are part of every life. This shared commitment involves much. It is to help this child to be honest with both himself and with all others, a seeker of truth no matter where it comes, courageous and loving as a way to find ultimate inner peace, welcoming to all kinds of humanity, understanding the interdependent web and of all existence of which we are all a part, secure in the knowledge that they are not alone but surrounded by those who love and care for them. As Harry and Robert's parents, are you willing to make this commitment? Yes. We will.
We will.
Harry, as Robert's older brother, you have a very special place in your family and with your brother. Will you promise to be the best brother you can be, caring for Rob with gentleness and love? Absolutely. Thank you. And Lagaya and Stephen, who is here to stand with you and these beautiful children?
His grandmother, Teresa, and his uncle, Mike, and Aunt Tahira. His grandfather, Dale, and his grandmother, he calls her Lola.
Lola? Maria. Nice to see you. Maria, Teresa, Dale, Michael, Tahira. The gifts you bring to these precious lives are ones only you can provide. Will you share with Harry and Robert the stories that create the fabric of your family memory? By your words and actions, will you guide them in their unique unfolding as beloved human beings, giving freely the gift of unconditional love and acceptance? We will. And to you, it is said that it takes a whole village to raise a child. As adult members of this congregation, we all share in the responsibility for the care and nurturing of these children and all the children within our congregation. Will you give to these children, as with all our children, and to their parents, the gifts of your minds and hearts? Will you strive to love and cherish them in times of struggle as well as in gladness? Please say, we will. For those students who are present here, Simon, I know, is here. Taryn, I don't know if anyone else is here this morning. Are you ready to speak on behalf of all the children today, Simon? We ask that you make a promise. Will you be kind to Harry and Rob as they grow and also be kind to them and to each other? Will you accept them into your midst and respect them for who they are? We will. Excellent. Thank you, Simon. So let us bless Harry and Robert with the wonders of the earth. Harry, are you ready? Okay, step forward. I will be right here, okay? Harry, this is earth from the place where you live. You brought it with you this morning, didn't you? Okay. May your feet always tread softly, knowing that if you take care of the earth, it will provide for you. May you stay grounded in all you do, and may your work be a blessing to the world. Harry, you are earth. And this is the wind and the air. May your lungs be full of fresh, sweet air. May you know the joy of a good laugh. May you find your voice through song and whispers and shrieks. May you have a life full of scents, breezes, and sighs. Harry, you are the air. And this is fire. May it remind you of the divine spark of all creation that is in you. May it inspire your commitment to love and justice. May you be kept warm by the community around you. May all your days be bright. Harry, you are fire. And this is water brought by your grandmother, Teresa. May you always find your thirst quenched. May you know the joy of hard work. May your tears be cared for. May you dance in rain and jump in pools and puddles. Harry, you are water. We dedicate you, Harold, in the name of all that is holy. Welcome. And Robert, your turn. How are you? Such a cutie. Robert, this is earth collected by your brother from the place where you live. May your feet always tread softly, knowing that if you take care of the earth, it will provide all you need. May you stay grounded in all you do, and may all your work and blessings be a gift to the world. You are the earth. And this feather represents the air and the wind. May you know the joy of a good laugh. May you find your voice through song, whispers, and shrieks. May you have a life full of scents, breezes, and sighs. Robert, you are air. This is fire. Yeah, we're not going to grab for that. May it remind you of the divine spark of all creation that is inside you. May it inspire your commitment for love and justice. May you be kept warm by the community around you. You are a spark of fire. And this is water. May you always find your thirst quenched. That was an unexpected sense, wasn't it, huh? Want to smell that? Smell good. May you know the joy of hard work. May your tears be cared for. May you dance in rain and jump in pools and puddles. Robert, you are water. Do you want to take that? We dedicate you, Robert, in the name of all that is holy. Friends, it is with great joy that I present you, Henry James and Robert Stephen Frediani. Thank you. As we have dedicated Harry and Rob, may we also dedicate ourselves to this day. May this occasion work its miracle in our hearts. May we find our own lives growing and changing in accordance with the beauty, truth, and goodness we wish for the lives of these children, for the gift of childhood whose innocence and laughter keep the world young. We rejoice and give thanks. May these precious lives, which we have accepted into this community, receive abundantly the blessings of the earth, health, love, knowledge, and wisdom. And may they in turn give back richly to the common heritage that endures from generation to generation. Let's remain seated as we sing our centering hymn, I Seek the Spirit of a Child. It's number 338 if you want to look at it.
I seek the spirit of a child, the child who meets life naturally, the child who sings the world alive and greets the morning sun with glee. Children are real beyond all art. May I see joy's a gift to our heart. I seek the freedom of a child who loves instinctively, who lights our day with just a smile and shines that light on all we see. Children are real beyond all fears. May I see hope's a gift to our tears. I seek the wonder of a child who sees delightfully. Now clouds in cloud, now golden sun, imaginations true and free. Children are real beyond all lies. May I see faith's a gift to our eyes.
What better joy could we have this morning than these two precious lives? And we join together in the midst of all our lives, brought together by the desire for community, to share in a moment of joy or sorrow, laughter or grief. We come to hold each other in love, whether we agree about everything or not, whether we understand each other completely or not, because we choose to be together. That is what binds us. We need one another for our own fulfillment, for the fulfillment of this community, and for the fulfillment of the wider world. This is a time where we can share our joys and sorrows. I share the sorrow of a memorial service that we had here yesterday for David Griffith, longtime member and past president of this congregation. But as we've seen this morning, life continues to move forward in joy and in sorrow. If you have something that you would like to share this morning, please raise your hand. I will bring you the microphone. State your name And briefly, Robert has something. Something briefly that you would like to share. Joys and sorrows. Anyone? I'll come back, okay.
My name is Jane Graham, and I have a joy to share today. On Wednesday, I'm flying to New Jersey to help my granddaughter celebrate her 7th birthday. I couldn't promise to do this because of the weather, but it looks pretty favorable.
Good. That's great. Thanks, Jane. Anyone else this morning?
My name is Earl Anderson. I just want to thank all of you who sent me cards and good wishes during my time of being hospitalized and recuperating. So I hope that everything is in good shape now. I did have a bit of a comeuppance. I was telling my wife that it seems this season, I've had so many various ailments and so on, beginning to feel like an old man. And her reply was, well, you are.
Thank you, Earl. Anyone else? Recognizing that while not too many hands went up, there are a number of hearts here who are feeling joy in the moment, something happening in their lives, who are saddened by some event. So we acknowledge all the joys and sorrows that have been left unspoken. Please join me in the spirit of meditation. Spirit of life and love, we pause in this stillness to rest for a moment, to quiet ourselves so we can feel what stirs within us. Each breath draws us closer to the pulse of life. And with each exhalation, we make room for something new. May we find in this gathering the comfort of those who care. May we encounter patience along our growing edges and compassion in our most tender places. Here may we find sustenance, inspiration, and encouragement to face both change and challenge on this journey of life. And in the presence of suffering across the globe, may we redouble our efforts to practice kindness where we are, with the hope that the light of our actions travels like light to faraway stars. May our gestures of compassion and generosity seed possibility. May we recognize that life flows on, birth, death, and love. Let us walk humbly with one another, choosing reconciliation over resentment as we strive to live in right relation with each other and the earth. When life presses in and shifts us off balance, when pain assails us, when frustration mounts, may the rhythm of our breath steady us and bring us back to a place of gratitude and a readiness for transformation. Let's share a few moments of silence.
I'll just leave it right here. It's okay. I can. When I married my husband, Jim, and we made a decision to join the Foreign Service, diplomatic service, I had to leave my cozy home. I had to go, and I had to say goodbye to my family. And I had to say farewell to my very best friends. You hold on to him. And I had to quit my job. And I had to cut off all my work contacts. Keep those for a minute. And I had to move to the far side of the earth, to Beijing, China, during the Dark Ages, to a country I knew nothing about, where the people spoke a language I didn't speak, and I had no idea what I was going to be doing there. Today's service is about change, and I definitely know a lot about change, because I had to do that same move from country to completely different country 8 times in 30 years. Now, I want you all to do something with me today. I want you to take your hands and fold your hands like that. Now, notice which thumb is on top. Now, unfold your hands and fold your hands with the other thumb on top. That feels a little funny, doesn't it? It doesn't feel good. It feels awkward. You want to go back to the old way. But if you left it like this for a while, you'd get used to it. You'd get accustomed to it. You would grow into it. There is absolutely no question that change is tough, it's scary, it's lonely, it's hard, it's discombobulating, it's unsettling. Nothing feels familiar. It takes courage to adjust and accept it. You have to give yourself time to let go of the past. Familiarize yourself with lots of new things. You have to really dig down deep inside yourself and find the resources to overcome that kind of sadness that you left behind, all those people you left behind, the fear you have about stepping out. And then you really do have to step out of your comfort zone. Now, there are many ways to deal with change, which I actually figured out over the years. First, you always should make your home a really safe and comfortable and beautiful place that you feel good in. And then you should reach out and just make a friend or a few friends. And then you join groups who are doing things together. And you listen and you observe. And you volunteer to help a cause. And you try to use your skills to give something back to others. I did all of those things every time we moved. And before long, I actually got very involved in each place and very interested in the new cultures and in getting to know new people and new ways of thinking. But beyond that, I actually was changed myself. My vision widened. My life experience really grew so much richer. So change is inevitable, but it's good. We have new life here today. It really helps us evolve. We learn from change. We gain new perspectives on life. We open our minds to new ways of thinking and new ideas and differences. And we have experiences that we never could have imagined we were going to have. And we also learn about collaborating with those who are quite different from us. All of this enriches our lives in so many ways. So, don't hold on to life the way it is, or the way it was. Unfold your hands once in a while, and try the opposite thumb on top. You'll be glad you did.
Thank you.
If you knew that you would die today, you saw the face of God and love, would you change? Would you change? If you knew that love can break your heart, and you're down so low you cannot fall, would you change? Would you change? How bad, how good does it need to get? How many losses, how much regret? What chain reaction would cause an effect? Makes you turn around, makes you try to explain, makes you forgive and forget, makes you change, makes you change. If you knew that you would be alone, knowing right and being wrong, would you change? Would you change? If you knew that you would find a truth that brings up pain that cannot be soothed, would you change? Would you change? How bad, how good does it need to get? How many losses, how much regret? What chain reaction would cause an effect? Makes you turn around, makes you try to explain, makes you forgive and forget, makes you change, makes you change. Are you so upright you can't be bent if it comes to blows? Are you so sure that you won't be crawling? If not for the good, why risk falling? Why risk falling? If everything you think you know makes your life unbearable, would you change? Would you change? If you'd broken every rule and vow, how hard times come to bring you down, would you change? Would you change? If you knew that you would die today, if you saw the face of God and love, would you change? If you knew that you would die today, if you saw the face of God and love, would you change? Would you change? Would you change? Would you change?
Today's reading is by Mary Oliver. It's called The Journey. One day, you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice. Though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles, "Mend my life," each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do. Though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible, it was already late and a wild night, and the road was full of laden with branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the clouds and the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save.
This is one of those services where I feel that the homily is a bit superfluous. Such great music, such a wonderful family, such a wonderful worship associate sharing her reflections. We've all been through so much change in the last few years. And if you're like me, you are still reeling with that change. The changes in our own internal sense of safety and security, changes in the security of our community and our nation. It's a fearful time. It can be a fearful time. And yet we are called to move forward. Our new Unitarian Universalists' proposed principles include a value of transformation. It says we believe in change and that we covenant to do the work necessary to change ourselves and the world, to move forward together. Each new life that is born into this world is a possibility. Ready. Each new life carries with it a germ of a personality, as Stephen can tell you. That Robert and Harry did not emerge like blank slates. They had personalities when they came out of the womb. There was something there, a spark. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The heart refuses to be imprisoned. In its first and narrowest pulses, it already tends outward with a vast force and to immerse in innumerable expansions." Each child is a possibility of creating change. We are, to some degree, shaped by both nature and nurture. Nature providing us with those characteristics with which we're born. Though there may be some behaviorists in the room, I doubt if anybody really suggests that we don't have a seed of that something within us. And then there are those forming experiences, some of which are buried deep in many of our pasts, fresh in Harry's mind, perhaps. We might even be able to point back and say there was a turning point, or that's when this happened, and that's when I felt this. Sometimes we can't point to those places. They're buried too deeply. But even knowing the combination of influence of nature and nurture, it's impossible to predict what the outcome for every child will be unless we choose as a community, as a family, as a group of people to engage ourselves fully with love in the development of those children, and in turn, as we do that within ourselves. Changing is hard. I think I asked this once, but how many people here like change? Yeah, there's not a lot of hands up there. There's a few scattering. You know, those few brave souls that are always heading somewhere else and doing something different. But with the world constantly changing around us, we struggle so hard sometimes not to just want to hold on to something, some stability, some sense of self, even though that self may not be our best self. We rail sometimes against change for that very reason of sense of containment, that idea of ourselves as a contained entity. When Emerson offered us that quote about ever-expanding heart, he was actually railing against people who did hold back themselves. He was talking about the fact that we are born to learn and grow and change constantly. And he didn't like the fact that there were people who sort of stayed stuck within themselves. We all have reasons for that. Adapting to a changing world, however, is a must these days. The world changes far too rapidly, and in ways perhaps that we don't always agree with. And where is our challenge in that? To look within, to find the seeds of possibility that were there from the very beginning, and begin to live into that love and that heartbeat, that sense of growth and possibility that each of us contained at our birth. This place, this wonderfully vibrant place, this place that is sometimes silent, sometimes boisterous, this place is open to the potential within each of us, holding in love the person and the potential we might be. It is a place that can offer up a thought that shifts us from our center, or is welcome to our own thinking, possibility of changing someone else, given what we have to say. There's a place that provides innumerable role models from whom we can learn, and fellow travelers with whom we can share both success and failure. It is full of young people with the joy of life, with a life ahead of them, those lives to which I believe we owe our own time, our own love, our own sense of purpose and hope for this world. This congregation, this community, is a place where we can trust trust enough so that we can be open to transformation in the face of a constantly changing world. We may wish that that world would slow down and stop changing and providing us with challenges. But my friends, I'm sorry to say, that's not going to happen. But it is within communities like this, where people are willing to stay, to lean in, and to give of themselves to each other, that the hope and possibility, the rebirth of new possibilities and new worlds, this is the womb of that possibility. Together, growing together, seeing those possibilities, understanding what it will take from each one of us. That is the joy of a community like this. This is the joy of welcoming new life into a community like this. Give us new hope, a new sense of purpose, new ways of being. So grateful to the Frediani family for blessing us this morning with their presence. Harry, I love your dinosaur shirt. It was Harry's birthday recently. You celebrated yesterday, but when was it?
January 12th.
The 12th. And we couldn't celebrate because Robert was a little sick. Yeah. So yesterday was the big celebration. And how old are you, Harry? 4. A new life, a new possibility, something for all of us to feel the change that we might make inside, knowing that there is new life in the world, knowing that there is new hope in the world. Believe in change. There are great things ahead. Joanne.
As we take some time to consider the words of today's message, let's also take some time to show our gratitude for this community and all that it does to enrich our lives. The morning's offering will be gratefully received. Please consider sending a contribution in today. If you're watching on Facebook Live, the information you need will be on the screen. there is always so much going on here. So we hope that you get the e-blasts, the weekly news. But I'm going to just mention a few of the things that are happening today so that you're aware of them. We have a visitor, a refugee who's come from Ukraine. Irene and her son are here. They arrived this last week, and they're going to be speaking to us today after this service. So between the service around 11:30, they will meet in this room. And meanwhile, we hope you'll come and have coffee and conversation in the meantime. Sean would like to make another announcement about something that's happening this afternoon as well. Go ahead, Sean.
Yes. Today at 4 o'clock on the Pavilion, the second of the year in the Pavilion concert series that we're having this year, the Brandon Robertson Quartet is coming. They're an amazing jazz quartet. Brandon Robertson is in charge of jazz studies at FGCU, and he's also bringing a student quartet to open for them. It's going to be amazing. The only times that you really get to hear a group like this is if it's late at night in a jazz club. You get at 4 o'clock out there. You get wine. It's going to be a good time. So go home after the forum and take a walk or something and head on back. But anyway, I hope to see you all there.
Sounds great. Our Progressive Voices begins on February 1st. This is a series that's been going on for many years, started by David Griffith, who we celebrated his life yesterday. The cultural historian Jim Kenny will be sort of moderating this series, and it goes through March. If you'd like to buy tickets or get involved, the tickets will be available after the service on the patio. It's also time to think about injustice in our society. So please come join the NAACP and the League of Women Voters here after the service on February 5th. There will be a light lunch served first, and you can stand up for justice by attending this seminar on racial wealth gap, the racial wealth gap in our country. It's a simulation activity. Cheryl Ford will help you if you'd like to register again on the patio. So make sure you read the news that comes out every week. There's a lot happening, and we hope you'll join us and think of ways to connect. And now, please stand, I guess, for our closing hymn, number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me give with dignity, let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision, clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. Then when life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
Crave comfort and routine. We nourish the soul's growth primarily through what is hard. It's not the strongest of us that thrive, not the most intelligent, but those who are most responsive to change and open to love. Please be seated. We have one more musical treat for you this afternoon.